Anna, can you read our cold open?
Oh,
wow.
That I have not seen.
No.
Oh, the world has changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost, for none now live who remember it.
It's the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring 25th anniversary, coming up next on Least Important Things.
They are coming.
We must turn back!
No!
Wish the ring had never come to me.
Back, you devils!
Wish none of this had happened.
You will find your courage.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Welcome to a podcast called Least Important Things. I'm your host, Luke Ferris. This is the show about movies, friendship, and meaning. In today's episode, yes, we are journeying back to Middle-earth to celebrate 25 years since Peter Jackson changed the world with the Fellowship of the Ring. FYI, today we are talking about the theatrical release, not the extended edition, although that might come into play. But this is about the theatrical release 25 years. Joining me today to discuss the legacy of this film in the greatest trilogy of all time are two very special guests, my two older siblings and the people partially responsible for my own obsession with Tolkien. Jay Ferris, Anna Guerink, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Wow. Thank you.
You guys ready to discuss the responsibility that you bestowed on me as being a Tolkien nerd?
Yes, sir. Ready to go?
I am a little nervous, but that's fine.
There's a lot to talk
There's
about.
a lot to talk about.
We'll get into it, but thank you. Thanks for being here, guys. Before we dive into the conversation, whether it's your first time listening or watching, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Please remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and connect with us on social media. Those links are in the show notes. We also have a Patreon where you can become a free member to receive email alerts when a new episode is released, video updates, exclusive conversations, and additional information about the episode. And for the same price as a pint at the Green Dragon, which I don't know how much that would cost nowadays with inflation. Mordor really boosting the prices of barley.
Tariff taxes.
You can become a friend of the show and get a Least Important Things sticker and more special surprises to come. Supporting the show helps us cover the cost of our production tools and make more episodes like this one. Visit patreon.com/leastimportantthings to learn more. And most importantly, this is an independent podcast, and the best way you can help this show is by recommending it to somebody. So please, the next time you're small talking in Rivendell before the Council of Elrond, or taking a break during a long trek through the mines of Moria, please recommend Least Important Things. What do you think? What do you think Gandalf's listening to? Like, what pods is he recommending?
I mean, definitely like a Dan Carlin 12-hour history.
Yeah, his history. Yeah. Well, when he was at Minas Tirith, he was probably potting. He was like researching and potting.
He was like looking through all the
That's how he
the
got through all
paperwork.
the libraries.
He was actually, I think he was smoking. He was smoking a pipe.
He was smoking a pipe.
You couldn't see his earbuds.
The earbud was right there. Definitely.
His hair is so long. It's scraggly.
Well, friends, we're so glad to have you here. It's going to be a fun discussion, but Anna, Jay, as you know, of course, I don't do any rewatch episode without bringing in a sponsor to help cover the cost of the show. Obviously, we have our Patreon, but we have an ad for every rewatch. And I don't have someone advertise on this show unless it's a product or a service that I truly believe in. I'm not going to patronize the listener. I'm going to really believe in the product. I use the products of all of our sponsors. And we got a great sponsor today. This episode is brought to you by Farmer Maggot's Crops. Do you want fresh farm-to-table sourced vegetables for breakfast, second breakfast, 11Cs, tea, dinner, supper? Then look no further than Farmer Maggot's Crops. Each seasonal vegetable is full of rich nutrients supplied by the Brandywine River watershed and free of Mordor ash. I mean, I know that's really important to you, Anna, to have no Mordor ash in the vegetables. Sign up for Farmer Maggot's crop share program for delicious produce all year long. You can learn more by visiting Farmer Maggot's farm just off Maggot's Way. I mean, it's very close. Just be aware of the dogs and the thieving hobbits. Jay, I know you're a huge fan of Farmer Maggot's mushrooms, world famous mushrooms.
Oh yeah,
It's really
world
good.
famous.
Yeah.
As stated in the book.
Yes.
Not the movie.
Not the movie. Well, they mentioned the mushrooms.
I mean, not the world famous
Yes, not
aspect.
the
I
world
think
of it.
they
famous.
collected the mushrooms.
Yes.
Stole.
Ooh,
Stole.
stole.
Not in the
They
book
were
though.
they were by the road though.
They were by those. Yeah, I don't think those were actually Farmer Maggot's crop. But yeah,
you're probably right.
please sign up. I mean, spring is on the way. You're gonna have a lot of summer parties. You want to have that crop share from Farmer Maggot's. Thanks for sponsoring the show. All right, friends, we're moving on to the back of the VHS/DVD, and this is the segment of the show. Do you remember these stores called Blockbuster? Maybe it's
delicious.
2001, and you're walking around the Blockbuster aisles, and you're like, what's this? What's this that I'll come upon? And it's
I'm thinking about the expensive candy you can never
the
buy.
candy,
Oh yeah,
They're
never.
way too expensive.
but
But we-
always an option.
But we spent a lot of time in there.
Yes.
A lot of time just looking.
Looking and reading the descriptions, and maybe there's, what is this? Lord of the Rings. What is this? Oh, there's a lot of faces on this DVD or VHS cover. I don't know. It's green. You flip it over. What does it read? Here's what it says.
Wait. Is it a DVD? Or
Well, this is typically we do back of the VHS and or DVD, but
okay.
because this came out right during the transition
It was a
between
transition.
VHS to DVD, we have VHSs in our set here and DVDs. So this is actually one of those big movies that was a crossover VHS and DVD, which I believe we had both.
we first had the VHS because
I'm sure.
we had to do a lot of rewinding and fast forwarding and rewinding
Yes.
because it was a long.
Yes,
long movie.
and you had to watch scenes over and over again, which I think Jay and I would watch probably the Battle of Amon Hen like before school, probably.
Yeah, all those battles.
Just run it back.
Just like real quick,
real quick. Just
6:45 in the morning.
Yeah, just get pumped up before school.
Yeah. Weather top, maybe.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
quick weather top.
Yeah, a quick weather top battle.
Yep.
That was definitely rolled back on the old VHS player. But this is what you would read. So if you've never heard of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, this is a good teaser for it. With the help of a courageous fellowship of friends and allies, Frodo embarks on a perilous mission to destroy the legendary One Ring. Hunting Frodo are servants of the Dark Lord, Sauron, the ring's evil creator. If Sauron reclaims the ring, Middle-earth is doomed. This is like a very 5th grade, like 3D
Oh, yeah.
level.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, great.
Target audience.
Yeah, winner of 4 Academy Awards, this epic tale of good versus evil, friendship and sacrifice will transport you to a world beyond imagination. It is directed by, of course, I mentioned Peter Jackson, written by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson. Obviously, Peter gets a lot of the credit, but Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens, 2 of the key staples in making this film come to life and this adaptation come to life. It is starring, oh man, what a cast.
Heavy hitters.
What a cast.
But were they? They weren't really heavy hitters at the
yeah.
time.
Some of them were and some of them weren't,
Yeah,
but
I mean-
It was
they
a
have
mixed
become
bag.
legendary since then. Here we go. Elijah Wood, Sir Ian McKellen, Viggo Mortensen, Sean Astin, Sean Bean, Dominic Moynihan, Billy Boyd, Kate Blanchett, Hugo Weaving, Sir Christopher Lee, Liv Tyler, Ian Holm, John Rhys Davis, and Orlando Bloom. What a
Yeah, so
cast.
maybe like 50-50.
yeah, it's
50
probably 50-50.
unknown, 50
I feel
still
like
heavy
that's on
hitters.
par for most epic films.
Yeah, because obviously Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee, Sean Bean, who is I don't know if you noticed up here, he was on the cover of the Rake magazine this past year.
Oh,
I'll bring it down. It says
thought that
still,
was him.
So it says still sharp is the
Not-
copy there.
not wrong.
It's
Not wrong.
He's still sharp. Hugo Weaving obviously had been in The Matrix. A lot of Kate Blanchett was a rising star, but then Elijah Wood, you have him as he was a child actor, but this was his first huge adult movie. Sean Astin, child actor as well. Goonies, Rudy. So it's a mix of unknowns and established, and casting, and we'll talk about it a little bit more, is one of the best parts of this movie and this franchise. Facts that you fact checked. I'm not going to do the work for you. Now, typically we go through a bunch of facts about the movie, but there's so much we could talk about. I'm going to kind of skip this section because there is the appendices, which are the greatest behind the scenes DVDs of all time.
I know. That actually is.
The OG behind
The
the scenes.
OG
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
I watched that a lot. It actually
was unbelievable.
Yeah, I almost like that's so integral to the experience of these movies, and even in the first one is watching the extended version and those behind the scenes.
I don't know if we'll get into it later, but that was definitely the start of my interest in like set design. That I almost
movie
almost
making.
went to
Oh,
went to college for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't like change your life after watching that as a kid, like you were like, I have to.
I just remember Viggo Mortensen like fly fishing.
And all the jokes and bits. Most iconically, one that's had a resurgence on the internet when Elijah Wood is doing press for the film, and he's doing a remote interview, and this is before Zoom, so they would get audio, so it would be like a call in when you're doing press. And Dominic Moynihan was on the other line and had like a Swedish accent. And was asking,
I've seen that one.
do you wear wigs? Will you wear wigs? It's kind of had a comeback on the internet. So
I gotta look that up.
It's one of the best. And Elijah Wood's laugh after that. It's great. Just a couple other facts, but you can fact check them, of course. This was released December 19th, 2001, day after your birthday.
yes,
Wow. Exciting.
they all came
times.
out on my birthday time.
Yeah, it was all. I mean, what an amazing time to be alive and be a young teenager.
Yes.
It doesn't get better than that. Plus, that weekend, you could have seen also in the theater Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone
Unbelievable. I had no idea.
I
and
forgot.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
So
What?
that's just a
I
little
can't-
taste.
Well, and then Star Wars
2001.
was
Happening as well. Yeah,
It's
you
too
had
much.
Star Wars
too
the
much.
next year. Two Towers. It was a gauntlet.
we were at the movie theater a lot.
We were, and life was
The
beautiful.
Traverse City movie
Yes.
theater.
They made a lot
Yes.
of money off of us.
Which we'll get into. Okay, let's move on to OT's overall thoughts. And speaking of that Traverse City Theater, do you guys remember the first time you saw this movie? What was that like? Because I have a remembrance. If you listen to our Tolkien audio only episode, I have a remembrance of it. But I want
you actually remember this?
I want to fact check
Okay.
it. Can I fact check it with you guys?
I-
Well,
Get to the
yeah.
bottom of
Don't,
this.
you don't say anything. 'Cause
I won't say anything.
I want to test our theory.
Okay, I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
That's why this is why you have siblings to help you remember things.
If
Because
you have
I-
a sibling like me, it doesn't help at all. Because Anna asked me, I'm
Oh,
like,
boy,
I
this
have
is
no
not
idea.
good.
We need Eliza.
But
she's the memory keeper.
But I asked our father,
Yes.
who is at best unreliable. when it
Yes.
comes to
He's
things.
an unreliable narrator for a lot of
but
things.
in his mind,
entertaining.
I will quote.
Okay.
It's hard to believe that we didn't go. It's hard to believe that he, being such a big Lord of the Rings fan, would have missed the opportunity to bring
Yeah,
us.
but we were young.
So this is his theory.
Okay.
Is, you would have been too scared, which that fits.
Yes.
I had read the books.
Yes.
So I was already pumped up. I know that is true.
Yes.
So I think he would have taken both of us to the theater.
But I don't remember seeing that one in the theater. I remember seeing the other ones.
Right. I don't remember anything. Again.
This is a really tough detective
All right.
story here.
All right. So Luke, how does that theory stack up
I
against
think
you?
that lines up because I explicitly remember going to the theater, which was in the mall, the Traverse City Cherry, whatever called mall.
Right.
I remember explicitly coming with you guys. The whole family must have driven together. I don't remember Dad,
And you got left?
and I did not get to go. But but
Oh.
in my head, I remember that I was going to go. Like we were all going. You guys have kids now. It's like, oh, we're all going to the movies.
Oh my goodness, that's so mean.
And so I remember not like watching you guys go in and being jealous.
Oh,
but
so
it
this
was
does
very
fit.
much.
Our father
Okay.
might have been
Luke's
correct.
too,
Okay,
Luke's too young. He'd
it's
be
kinda-
scared,
you would have been.
which I would have been.
I guess it's kind of coming back to me.
So it must have been
It's not
mom
coming back to
and
me.
I got to do my favorite thing in the world, which is hang
Go
out
shopping.
with my mom in the mall.
Going shopping.
And Eliza
Eliza must have been with us as well.
Yeah.
So that's
So-
the
What
memory.
for
What a
3 hours.
bummer.
I don't know. I guess, or we just drove around and came back.
Yeah.
I
sure-
don't remember Dad being there, but it makes sense that Dad was
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
You know what? It's for how much this movie impacted our like for me, my like pre-teenage, beginning of teenage years. The fact that I don't remember it makes me feel really old. Like
I like.
It
I
is
barely.
the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, so I'm not surprised. I don't remember.
I don't know. So Jay, do you remember this? Because my first time watching, the first time I saw a glimpse of the movie was we were in a Best Buy, probably in Traverse City shopping, and I remember watching the scene where the Nazgul are chasing the hobbits, and they jump on to the ferry. So right before they go to
Bucklebear
Bree.
Ferry?
Yeah, and I just remember being
Bucklebear
One of
Ferry.
one of the best scenes.
I just remember the intensity of that because they're in the woods. It's
Yeah,
dark
it's
and
fantastic.
Nazgul, and it was terrifying but exciting. Then I remember I think we got that VHS. This must have been the summer of 2002, so
Yeah.
before the Two
Yeah.
Towers came out, and then we watched it
1,000
Dad.
times.
I
with
think-
our dad in our room for the
Yeah.
first time.
I think we watched it upstairs in your room.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
'Cause we-
probably watched it. As
Yeah,
well.
because that's what I remember is like that TV, that big old
We had a big old
honkin'
TV, yeah.
and it was we had a
and it
V-
must have been on that first VHS because we probably got it before I've seen
Right.
the Two Towers.
and it
on
was
theater.
one VHS, which was very big deal because
Technology.
Titanic was 2D.
Yeah, I don't know
or
how the
2
technology. Yeah, they improved the technology. And
well,
then
Just a
I mean,
bit.
Titanic was a couple of years before that, right?
yeah, it would have been
Yeah, so-
97.
I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah,
We're
come on.
advancing technology here.
went from
Also, should we move on now that we've
Yes.
Now that we've
2
figured it all
hours
out.
of our family history?
Yes. So we have some show and tell that I think gives a little bit more insight with our overall thoughts. First, I have to bring out, and I've talked about these before on the show. These are the Del Rey companion of The Hobbit and then The Lord of the Rings that you bought, I believe, at a book fair.
No. Remember those Scholastic?
Yes, a Scholastic book fair, right? Isn't that what they were called?
Yeah, but they're like the magazines. Is that?
Yeah.
they're-
Or
Okay.
you
yeah.
ordered
I ordered that.
You
They-
ordered
they-
these.
By the way,
hunk
they-
I
watching on
ordered.
YouTube.
Yeah,
They
it's
still
missing
have-
a book too.
they still
it's not
have
missing
those.
a book, but
Well,
it is?
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit's there. The Hobbit's over here off screen, but
it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. I'm
quite
too
fit.
scared. I'm too scared to try to keep it
Yeah.
fit because it might disintegrate.
Fantastic.
What do you remember about reading these books for the first time? Because obviously, like, this isn't movie branded at all. This is old school.
Yeah, I mean, this is before the movie.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm sure. No, I don't even know if they were being in production or
Yeah,
talks.
they obviously had
way before.
They haven't had heading branded on it.
This was probably my like reaction to not being allowed to read Harry Potter.
yes.
Oh,
yes, that was
oh, now we're going real deep.
Right. So, the
Let's get into it.
evangelical Christian community rejected Harry Potter
Yes.
because of the magic.
No, and our mom,
yeah,
I
the
think,
magic.
rejected it because of the child living underneath the
Right. That was the
dirt.
actual thing. But
That
the
like the
cultural
main issue.
narrative,
The cultural narrative, the
in
big
which I was
narrative.
told it was because of the magic. But
the witchcraft, Jay.
Yeah, the witchcraft.
It's very
Yes.
different.
but then we were allowed to. I specifically remember being allowed to read these books because
Tolkien was.
He was a Christian.
Yeah.
yeah, but the witchcraft was also in there. So at fourth
There
grade,
there's a character called the Witch King of Agmar.
Yeah.
in this-
Well,
he's
this
bad.
series. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's bad.
but there's good guys that
There's
use magic.
wizards.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very confusing. In which it's kind of one of those shattering moments, the dichotomy of parenthood. So
Yes.
yeah.
yes.
Anyway, but yeah, I remember reading these, and I mean, these took me forever. I was at third, fourth grade, and just
Yeah.
I mean, the Mithril chapter must have
Yes.
taken me like 4
Oh, yeah,
weeks to
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
But I mean, just fantastic. I mean, my first foray into any heavy
Yeah, take a
fantasy,
look.
which I mean is pretty not for kids.
No, the Hobbit, and a lot of people read the Hobbit for the first time.
Which I did not.
This pic.
That one got some water damage. Yeah, the Fellowship
Oh,
had
no,
some
but
water damage.
this right here.
But yes,
Yeah.
it's good. It's
I remember when the movie
I can't get rid of those.
was released.
I think those are mine.
I've been preserving them.
Oh,
keep it,
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Keep it safe, Jay.
You're the bearer of the books.
It was before. It was when one of our times our parents downsized or moved. It was like your bookshelf was
Yeah.
table stakes, and I remember seeing these, and I was like, I have to preserve these.
I mean, again, better off.
yes,
These
Yeah.
must have been. In
I'm
the 80s.
Schmiegel and you're Frodo.
yeah, 80s. Yeah, it's you can't really get anything like that today.
I remember the movie, like, I don't know if it's Dad talking about the movie coming out, and I was like, wait a second, I think that's those books that Jay has. Yeah, it does, and those are like Christian books, right? And
Yes.
so I was really like, whoa, there's a movie coming out. So I remember this, but I remember very clearly being like, I don't want to read that. That's like Jay's books. Jay's
books.
Nerd.
Nerd alert.
Confirmed. If you
And
read
this
that in
is a
fourth
perfect
grade.
segue to speaking of Nerd Alert. You also brought some show and tell stuff, Anna. We have is this a class project?
So it must have been after I don't know if after I saw the movie. It was in 7th grade. We had to do a game board
Game board, yes.
book project. So you had to
Okay.
pick a book.
Very creative.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Very cool. Early 2000s.
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah.
Probably 2002.
Curriculum hadn't tightened up
No.
on
Yeah.
that kind of creativity.
No,
yet.
no online learning.
Yeah. So I chose to read The Fellowship. I did not finish it. There's no way I was able to finish that.
Yeah.
And
No
so,
way.
Give it
but,
a shot.
But it was really fun. I mean, I had this huge game board, and we built. It
Yeah, you had Mount Doom and everything.
had
yeah,
a vision.
It was crazy.
You remember it?
Yeah.
It took up a whole
It was
table.
paper mache, right?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
Way
crazy.
too much time. Way too big a vision for the amount of time that the project was. But I went through some of my
Oh, these pieces are
you know, I saved too many things, but just for this exact
for the podcast. This is
the
what
ca-
this is exactly why you preserved them.
Oh yeah, and I used clay to decorate each of the
Yeah,
game
they're-
pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
for
didn't
those
paint it.
listening,
You
they're
used-
little. They're
No,
like
no, no.
they look like gingerbread men, but little pieces of wood. And then you've
I-
used clay to give hair. Wigs? Will you have wigs? Yes, you will.
And we got some Playmobil.
Yep, for
accessories for
Legolas
Legolas's,
is quiver.
We've got there's Gimli.
Gimli with a really great his
That's
armor
actually
is fantastic.
Like, this is-
incredible.
The
He-
detail is fantastic. And Jay and I were talking off camera and off air. I don't know how we didn't get into D&D because these are essentially D&D figures that you created.
Yeah, they are.
We were just sheltered enough.
Just sheltered enough.
So
Yeah.
also there was no
The
Hobby
Gandalf
Lobby
is great, yeah.
around. This must have come from, we discussed this, Joan Fabrics.
Fabrics.
Joan Fabrics
then
and
I
Traverse
have,
City
like,
supplied that.
The rings.
Yeah, so you had the rings.
And there was game pieces that it was like Candyland. It was
Yeah.
like
You know what? I'm just gonna do a call. It reminds me of what's the Parks and
the
Recreation.
Cones of Dunshire. It definitely is the. Yeah,
it
Ben,
was.
It was Ben.
That's what it was.
Very serious.
Very complicated
Yeah.
rules. I don't think we ever finished a game.
Yeah.
I remember
No.
trying to play and it was like no. Anyway,
Was I a little like
yeah,
Ben?
you were
in
the.
that-
You were the.
That's how you play. No, you're not doing it wrong.
The dungeon master.
But
That's great.
I'm so glad that I kept these for this exact
Thank
moment.
you. You never know when something can be brought.
That's
to the
why you
pod.
never
It's
throw
great.
anything away.
Don't throw away anything.
Now they can rest
Now
in
they
peace
can
in the trash can.
And then you also brought some poetry, some Tolkien inspired
okay,
poetry.
We might not read it today, but
maybe just give it a little taste here.
this is,
another class assignment, right?
yeah, this was in January 21, 2002.
Okay.
Narrative poem, Frodo and Samwise Gamgee. It all began with Frodo and Sam off to Mount Doom to destroy the One Ring who held the fate of us all. They started with 9, but they would soon find that only the bear could bear this ring. But Samwise the Brave could not let this happen, so he went with Frodo to destroy the ring that held the fate of us all. Okay, I guess I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, this is better than the back of the VHS.
This is the back of the video.
Yeah.
1 foot closer every day to the dreaded Black Gate. With the new companionship of Gollum, the trickster, they had but one chance. Through a secret passage, Frodo and Sam would choose their fate. With the strength of Frodo and the bravery of Sam, the ring would soon be destroyed.
What's the comment?
The
teachers-
there's
One
an
of the
wait,
teachers-
first of all, there's an asterisk that says written. This was printed, but there was a handwritten note that says based on the book and movie Lord of the Rings by J.R.R.
Good
Tolkien.
job. Good job. Cover your bases.
Cover
so
my
you don't get in
bases.
trouble.
The teacher's comment was, "Not yet in poetic form. Good start."
That's
We did. It was a good start.
You know, you gave it your best shot.
And an
yes.
end. It was a good start and an end.
How is that non-poetic? Come on.
Yeah,
don't-
okay.
I think it-
Jay's ready to argue with the English teacher. Let's not get into that.
Poetry.
Jay has some
I'm a little
teacher
fired up on
teacher
the
arguing.
English.
Let's just say it was inspired by this movie.
I think you did a great job. That's what I'm fired up.
Thank you.
you.
I'm very proud.
All right,
Thank you
anyway.
for the show
Yeah,
and tell,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I have 2 little gifts for you guys. This is from Erica Hines, who's a Etsy artist who creates I bought a bunch of these Tolkien inspired.
Oh my goodness.
Little cards, little postcards. So this one's for Jay.
Which
And
one did
this
I get?
This one's for
Oh
Anna.
my
We'll have
gosh.
quotes and then like
Lothlorien.
yeah. So it's like a Lothlorien
Lothlorien woods.
postcard. So yeah, imagine Frodo. Maybe Sam sends that back to the gaffer. Just so that, hey, I made it to Lothlorien. It's a pretty big deal. It's
Aw,
very
thank
very bright
you.
here. Some creepy elves for sure.
Oh, this is such a good scene.
It is.
It's a very-
in the book. It's a
Yeah,
little
it's-
bit different,
yeah,
but we'll
yep.
get into it.
Thank you,
So
Luke.
yes,
Wow, amazing gift.
thanks for being
Amazing
on the
gift.
pod. Yes, I have.
Thank you, Erica. Right?
Thank you, Erica. Look her up
Yeah.
on Etsy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Love
beautiful.
them.
Yes,
They're
that's a
very
great way
beautiful.
to like. I love sharing it with folks. I have one actually framed up here, which is not from this film, but this is Faramir inspired.
Oh,
So one of his
Oh,
quote about
Faramir.
why he would never take the ring in comparison to his brother.
what a foil.
Yes,
He's a
it's,
foil
It's,
to his
it's so good. All right, let's move it on to
Keep
leasties and besties. Okay, we got a lot of categories to cover. That's gonna be fun. Okay, let's start out with the leasties. Least favorite change from the book to the movie. Least favorite change from the book to the movie. Now, this is obviously a massive book. I'm gonna look at these Del Reys. This was one of the most challenging adaptations of all time. It had never been done. It had been talked about and produced in Hollywood.
Well, they did
for
do
years
the
and years.
cartoon.
Yep, the Batchy cartoons, which are fantastic to rewatch. Make sure you're not taking substances while you watch them because it's a little trippy, the animation.
I don't think-
You don't need to take substances to watch
You
them.
don't, because you're on a trip. It is.
Did we watch those? I don't remember watching
I
those.
remember
Yeah, I
watching them
watched
in the
them.
basement of somebody's house in Traverse City.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
before I watched the movies.
They were creepy.
They're a very unique animation style, but a lot of fun and
Very unique.
very accurate to the books in some ways.
Yeah. Yep.
but
I mean, there's just a lot of adaptations.
yes, there's a lot of
So-
adaptations, but that's why
Fantastic.
this movie was
So difficult.
This series was
yeah.
unadaptable. That's a word for you.
It's one word.
It's one word, and no one would ever touch it. I mean, really, New Line Cinema, Peter Jackson, this whole thing, it should have never happened. It is one of those miracles in Hollywood where it all comes together. But they had to make decisions. You can't totally authentically adapt.
No.
This book
Fantastic.
and this series.
Luke, why do you think that it happened at that time?
I think it was a mixture of Hollywood had just come off of the 90s where there was a lot of money and a lot of creative freedom given to auteurs. They wanted to find great directors, Quentin Tarantino's of the world. Studios wanted to give these auteurs money and ideas to make something big. This is before the franchise world. I mean, we had Star Wars, but it wasn't anything to the extent of what we have now. I think Jackson had a strong reputation as kind of an up-and-comer making movies out of New Zealand, but definitely someone that you wouldn't expect would get the keys to this adaptation and be able to shoot all three movies at the same time and have the budget. There's a lot of really good work about and writers who've kind of done more deep dives about how this New Line Cinemas, essentially this was an all-in. Like they were,
obviously they didn't goof around.
it was either
Yeah.
this was going to work or that whole
They were gonna go
thing was
bust.
going to go under.
Do you think that the fact that CGI was new?
I think
at
that
some-
helped. I think it was the idea that you could adapt it. But I also think the reason why this series lives on and will live on as some of the best adaptations because it's not fully reliant on CGI.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the craftsmanship and it essentially created this studio, Weta Workshop, who are some of the most important creators in movies now. It was, again, this flash in the pan and shooting in New Zealand. It was separate from the Hollywood studio system, and they kind of were doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
they
They were
had
they were there.
they were there. I
they
mean,
were
it
in
was.
Middle-earth.
It wasn't like they shot this in LA on sound stages, and you have
Yeah.
suits and ties coming in and breathing down someone's neck. They really had autonomy, and I think that was part of it. Is
Yeah.
they were on the other side of the world making this, and it just worked. They were in their own creative bubble.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Thank you
there you go.
for your thoughts.
But there was some changes made. All right. Least favorite change from the book to the movie. We have a few. The Buckland in Old Forest, which isn't necessarily changed. Now, Peter Jackson has gone on record and saying, just because we didn't show something in the movie doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Continue.
Okay. Which includes Frodo's house that he sets up. He sets up a fake house in Buckland to kind of like hide that he's going there as an excuse to leave the
that's
Shire.
right, yeah.
Fatty Bulger as a character. the great Tom Bombadil, Old Man Willow, all those characters in that section between when they're leaving the Shire in Bree. It's that whole piece.
So
of the
your
book.
least season is that this just got cut because essentially that's what happened.
Essentially did.
Yeah.
Plus you have the Barrow Downs. We have another change in the book is Farmer Maggot helping out the hobbits and not being more of like a menacing character. He actually helps out the hobbits. He talks to the Nazgul and kind of like says like, get off my land. Oh, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Farmer
Get off
Maggot's
my
a really,
lawn.
That
he's
would've been
he's a really cool character.
That would have been a good like
he's
cameo.
He's
for
a
them.
get off my lawn.
Yeah,
type
he
of guy.
does.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's got dogs, which is cool.
Well, there's that scene at the beginning,
They pay homage with the dog barking. Is that I think that's meant to be Farmer Maggot, but it's a kind of a reference to Farmer Maggot. But
I think it's a
Homage.
nod.
Yeah,
it's a nod.
it's a
I
nod.
love that.
we have some omitted elves in this adaptation. Gildor. Well, Gildor's in it, but not necessarily in how the book is. Elladen and Elohir, who are Elrond, and it's like, oh, and it's like, those are Elrond's sons, the twins. So what they do a lot of cool stuff in the book. But one of the things that they do in the book, which is really cool, is that before the Fellowship leave, they go scout.
Yeah.
And try to figure out what way they should go. Very cool characters. And then most famously, Glorfindel, who in the book is the one who comes and rescues Frodo after he gets stabbed, and they replace it with Arwen. So that's
can I actually go to that one?
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah.
Because in that story, he actually just gives Frodo his horse.
Yes, and then Frodo goes.
Yeah, and then Frodo is the one that says he turns back after they cross the river. Nazgul on one side.
Actually.
Yeah, it's that scene.
It's this scene,
which is, I'm so glad you brought up. It's Frodo that kind of says, "Come and take me if you want me," which I like. I'll save my comment for later.
Okay, because we'll talk about that change.
Right.
Obviously, the Council of Elrond is very different in the book. That's a long chapter. I think that similar to Jay. I think that chapter took me all of fourth grade to read.
I think I skipped it.
You're
I
like, just decide, please. Stop talking.
You know what? Ironically, now it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love it.
I know.
It's
I
like
haven't.
all this political.
Yeah, and all the lore they're referencing. If you read all of the canon of Tolkien, they're referencing all these things. It's fantastic.
I've been hesitant to reread the books as an adult because I'm like, is it gonna be bad?
No,
is it gonna be so long? But I think
it's fantastic.
It's better.
It's like the pacing is so slow too that it's like.
And now we can
abnormal.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
It's like the pacing is like very abnormal because it's not fast.
Yes.
It's very like calm.
And you know what? At this day and age of our life,
We need that.
we
need
do
some
need it. We do need
so
it.
I'm gonna go back. This is my inspiration.
This is your inspiration. You're gonna get through that. You're gonna get through that, Del Rey. You're gonna do it. Boromir as a character, he's a little bit more combative in the movie versus the book. The Eye of Sauron, which is a big change, like in the book, it's not like an actual eye; it's the eye as an analogy, and then they.
Wait, are
wear
you
the
saying
eye
you
as a
don't
symbol.
like that?
I'm just saying. I'm gonna ask you guys what your least favorite change is.
Oh, okay.
But these could be flipped with a different.
Yeah,
category.
because you're
Okay.
saying about 50% of them are my besties.
Okay, yeah, I agree. This is where we can have the debate. And then Frodo being a total loser and dropping his sword when the Nazgul attack.
He just constantly is always tripping, getting
falling. He's
and
falling
it's
down
just-
a lot, just tripping. Poor guy, just his feet. And then Jay, you mentioned the hobbits just being kind of stupid.
You want me to jump?
Just get in there.
Okay. Well, finish and then I can respond.
Okay, so we have Pippin, who is the youngest. Like, he's by far the youngest hobbit. He's a teenager, essentially, in hobbit years. He is definitely the buffoon of this movie. Merry is... I was rewatching it this weekend, and I think I see what they were trying to do. Merry is a lot cooler in the book because he plans a lot of the stuff, like them getting out of the Shire. They pay
They do it
homage
pretty
to-
good.
They pay
They do it
homage
pretty
when
good
he's
job.
like, when Frodo's like, I need to get... Like, I have to get to Bree. How do we get...
Buckleberry Ferry.
Buckleberry Ferry. So they do
Best
it.
line in the movie.
That's why it's a great adaptation because you get the character sense that Mary's... He's got his stuff together.
Yeah,
He's
he definitely does.
He
He's
right
thinking.
away. He's like
He's
in the
thinking.
zone. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, I love when they show him and they're in the woods and he's like, they were after something or someone.
Yeah, he's sharp.
Yeah,
He's
he
sharp.
just kind of
Yeah.
looks at Frodo.
He looks really cool in the lighting.
Frodo.
Yeah. Sam's an interesting character. He's changed in the movie. He's much less emotional, more strong-willed. And then, Frodo, he's a little bit more mature in the book. He's more fully
Yeah.
developed. Okay, do you have a least favorite change out of all those? And I know I said a lot. Jay?
So
Get in
my
there.
big thing is the portrayal of the hobbits is a little bumpkiny.
Yeah.
Like a little.
I dropped my sword.
Whereas like in the books, they're they're like they have no idea what's going on, but they know they don't have anything idea what's going on, but they're like hyper courageous. They're the
Yes.
most courageous people out there.
Yeah, it's their superpower. If you were playing D&D, hobbits like courage and then sneakiness is like their top two
Right.
skill sets.
And I think you wonder why the hobbits get to be the bearers of the ring, and I think
it's clear.
you
they
know
were made for it.
It's clear. That's the biggest problem is I think the portrayal of the hobbits is a little soft. I mean, I think you have to do that in a 3-hour movie to show the character development, but I would have loved to see them a little bit more sharp. And you kind of mentioned the whole idea of Merry and Pippin and Sam. They seem to have be kind of swept into it, whereas in the books they're
helping Frodo out.
well, they know Frodo's going to leave before Frodo does,
Yeah.
and they're prepping. So
Yeah.
they're set and they're 100% committed. And I think this is my frustration is you don't get the sense of how committed they are in the movies versus the books. They're committed, day -1 before Frodo's committed. They're committed and they never waver.
Yeah, because in the movie they just kind of
Literally
literally
fall.
fall.
They
into it.
fall
Yeah,
into it, and
Stumble upon
I
Yes.
think.
And they bring comic relief. That's part of their job in the movie, and that's the difference of a book and an adaptation.
And I totally get that. I just that's my least favorite thing because I think you don't quite get the hyper level of commitment out of all the hobbits. I think you get out of Sam, but Pippin and Merry
not till later on in the
then you're
films.
they kind of do rise up, but I think you miss that initial commitment.
Yeah. Oh man,
So-
I think that's the thing is I could spend a lot of time in the Shire. I could spend those 17-year gaps that they don't really talk about. It's
Right,
ambiguous
exactly.
the years gap, but I could do like a 7-season just hanging out in the Shire.
All right, so I took up a lot of.
I know. I feel like you have more to say than I do because the
It's
last
not
time.
necessarily mean it's worth more.
Yes.
No, because the last time I read the book was when I was in 7th grade.
Yes.
That was a very long time ago. You just recently listened to the book on audio.
Yeah,
right?
just finished yesterday. So
He was really prepped.
She
Fresh.
coached.
She's ready. That's
I-
true prep.
Yes,
True prep.
and I hadn't watched the movie in a long time, and my husband and I watched the first half because that's all we got.
That's
time
all.
for.
Hey,
Yep.
that's okay.
Yep.
But it felt
It was a
good.
big ask. A big ask.
It felt really good. I think what I do like that they bring in Arwen as a character. I remember not she's not really in the book.
Yeah, not
from
in
what I can
the
recall.
not in the actual book. In the appendices, they do a full story
Yeah.
of Aragorn and Arwen, and you get a lot more of the backstory in the appendices, which is a great read. Like if you want just a short story of their love story, but it's not.
But I think as a young girl watching it, she was just
Oh yeah,
amazing.
good, she's a great character.
Yeah.
So I think even though it wasn't aligned with the book,
It was
That's
good
so.
change.
This is a bestie.
So that
Oh,
that,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, no.
it's because
I-
that's all I got. Because the movies just totally captured me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at that young.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
I
actually the Arwen character. Big
Best
thumbs up.
change. Yeah, it's
I mean,
it's
the best.
very
You had-
rare where they get it right that way.
Yeah, and you had asked on your social media what was your favorite scene, and that scene when she's just she's just so cool. And
She
I
is
just
so
remember
cool.
as a girl,
So
I was
cool.
like, oh,
Well,
love
I
her.
noticed when she comes to where the trolls are, the Bilbo's trolls are, and they do the pass off, and Strider Aragorn's like, "I'll take him," and she's like, "I'm a faster rider."
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
super,
better. I'm better.
she's super
I've got
clear.
it.
I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. It
Yeah.
just goes. It's pretty cool.
I-
to
Well,
see.
And then Frodo sees her as this
Yes.
Beacon of hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
She,
Well,
like,
yes, because this is if you want to get layered deep in book nerd, that is because he's obviously changing into the unseen world
Yeah.
of Tolkien, which is where the Nazgûl live, the unseen world. So he's seeing her as her purest form, which is she's for the undying land. So she's like a beacon of light.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's he's seen her in her truest form. which is pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't really think
But
about that.
she technically, well,
That's-
we won't get into it.
Can I
Very
ask
deep
you a
cut.
question?
Yeah.
I have this on my leasties.
Yes.
I don't know how you do this, but no songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair. Is that fair?
No, that's fair. That's
No music.
I would.
You get Bilbo singing a song as he's leaving Bag End. I think that's probably the
Gandalf
hardest.
sings, right? That's at the beginning. Who's
Yes.
singing at the beginning?
Gandalf singing.
He's kind of humming.
He's
Yeah.
humming
with the cart, but like
Yeah.
that, that's one of the big glaring differences. But I'm just like, I don't know if you could ask that of a 3-hour movie.
It's
right?
hard, and I think that's actually the best part of the Hobbit movies, which have a lot of flaws. But the Hobbit movies, they bring the singing back.
Yeah.
But you miss a lot of the singing because the singing is how it's oral storytelling, and that's part of the lore of Tolkien wanted to create it because it's this history of Britain that didn't exist, and in that culture, in historical culture, you would sing.
Yeah,
that
you're gonna sing
you
the
sing your
songs.
story.
So I think maybe what they were missing in the movie is that because they used a lot of like newer technology to like when he's seeing the Nazgul, it's like they're like kind of to describe it verbally here. But yeah, you lose some of that like nostalgic like ancient kind of English history,
Medieval
yeah,
type
like
of-
that kind of. So I think that's where the songs would have brought some of that.
Yes.
I don't know if you could. I mean, what
It's tough.
Pippin sings
Yeah,
in Return
Billy
of the
Boy
King.
gets a song, which is great.
I do
That's
love
one of the
that
best
one.
parts. And then in Lothlorien, they are singing the lament of Gandalf's death. You can hear it in the background, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily.
Again,
we
it's
just
my
needed, like, one more
it's my
song.
like leasty, but I think it
We get it.
almost doesn't
We
count.
We get it. We get it. All right. The filmmaking decision least likely to work. We talked about all the risk of this endeavor as a filmmaking endeavor, but what is the filmmaking decision least likely to work but somehow worked? The screenplay, we mentioned it already.
Yeah, it's so
shooting
tough.
on location in
Unbelievable.
New Zealand, which hadn't been done before in this capacity. Shooting all 3 films at once. The Hobbit feats and wigs.
Yes, so good.
The orc design and costuming.
Yeah.
The bad guys, like they're the main bad
They-
guys.
They
grunts.
they are still scary.
They're still
They're
scared.
not.
Like when the Uruk-hai comes out of like you're just like
Yeah,
like
I
it is
love that. It's
that
such a good
I
scene.
think because they chose to not make that like digital.
Yeah.
It's held up.
Oh yeah.
Just at
beautifully.
in the final battle, seeing a bunch of costumed Uruk-hai in the daylight, just all extras, and it wouldn't happen today. It would
Yeah.
not happen in movies today, and it's terrifying. Audrey was like watching it in the background. She's like, "Can you imagine being on set and seeing all?"
Oh my
those?
goodness.
Yeah, I mean, think
They
about
are
the
so scary.
actors. I just like you. Do you have to act?
I don't know. That is, I don't have a lot of like bucket list dreams in my life, but I think number one would be to like be able to be a full costume orc just as
like
an extra. That would just be
walking around.
that would
Yeah.
honestly be the dream.
That would be
the dream.
That would be amazing.
Viggo Mortensen, he was late cast of Aragorn Strider,
Oh,
so
that's right.
everyone was already in New Zealand, and they actually started doing test shoots with the actor that was supposed to be Aragorn, and it just wasn't working.
Who was it?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was not super well known, but more well known than Viggo. And Viggo was a last second call, and the lore of this story is his son was a huge fan of the books.
Oh, I forgot
and
about
his
that.
son
yeah.
convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
And it's a really
That's
cute
Were,
story.
were
very
they worried
sweet.
about how old he was?
They were worried,
that-
yeah, that Viggo,
Okay.
or no, the guy that he replaced was too
young, which is correct.
Oh.
and that was the right choice. Obviously,
Yeah.
it was the right choice, but that was a big
Yeah.
risk
I mean, he crushed
late
it.
on in the pre-production process.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of my favorite characters.
He's so good. He's so good. Okay, so is there one out of these that like really stand out to you guys?
Oh, I had to add one.
Yeah, feel free.
The elves in general.
Yeah.
How do you not make the elves
Corny and cheesy.
just terrible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's-
it's a razor's edge because they're like, they've got kind of this feminine quality, but
yeah,
like
it's
God,
it's androgynous, but also godlike because they're
Yeah.
ancient beings.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and they nailed it right on
It's
the head.
perfect.
Yeah.
And they got
well,
the
they
actors.
Yeah.
they chose the right actors
Yeah,
to play those
yeah.
parts.
So all of that is, how did they not screw that up.
It's amazing.
They did a very good job. I never really thought about that, but
Yeah.
that could have been
Yeah,
really
I
bad.
mean,
If you watch, like I've been watching some of the early 90s, late 80s fantasy movies. A lot of them were made in England, and they are rough watches.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you how hard it was to adapt fantasy.
I mean,
even if you watch the original Dune movie, it's just really tough to do, and that was one of the best filmmakers of all time. David Lynch tried to do that. So it is amazing that they just nailed it between the actors and the costuming and the design. All of that was so critical.
Speaking about the elves, I mean, I was just obsessed. I loved because they were beautiful, but like super cool. And they had bow and arrows. I mean, we were definitely suckers for anyone that had like
the bow and arrow is so cool.
Robin Hood fans of long ago. We just loved the.
Obviously, you have Cate Blanchett, who wasn't as well known, but would go on to have one of the greatest actress careers.
Because she was such a great actress.
Yeah,
like I think she brought it. And Orlando Bloom wasn't probably the best actress, but he did it. I mean,
he was great.
No, he did. I mean, again, elves impossible to do.
I definitely wore that small French braid hairstyle.
Oh yeah.
I did that a couple times in middle school.
Cool.
Legless style.
All right, let's move on to besties. We already kind of talked about this best change from the book. We talked about Arwen. I would say just Arwen and Aragorn's love story.
Yep.
Aragorn's reluctant hero story. Now, in the book, Jay might not like this. This is where they'll be combative. In the book, he's fully formed. He's ready to go. He has the shards of Narsil with him. He's like, I'm just waiting to get on the field, essentially.
Right.
I'm the guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the king.
And if you watch the animated movie,
he's ready to rip.
It's a really great adaptation of the character. But I think because of the film experience in this trilogy, you needed this big arc, because when you look at this big of a story, the writers have talked about this. They're like, who are our lead characters? It's Frodo and Aragorn, and they have their arcs, and that's kind of how they built the spine.
I agree.
That's how they built the spine of the movie, and there's a lot of changes with Aragorn's character, but I think it's really powerful.
But he started off, at least in the movie, he started off as very cool and mysterious, and he had skills. He had sweet skills. You just knew it.
But I think the layered acting by Viggo, it's so good. And it wins you over, because it shouldn't. You're like, it's a huge change from the book, but it wins you over.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think his character arc is amazing.
Yeah, Butterbur not being so dumb. He's very dumb in the books. They didn't ramp that up. He's the Barleyman at the Prancing Pony.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason.
He basically screws up everything in the book.
Yeah, he does.
Gandalf gives him a letter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He forgets about it.
Yeah.
He does look pretty sheepish when the Nazgul are coming in, and he's like,
but they could have made him dumber. I mean, he really screws up a lot.
Yeah, it is kind of a missed opportunity of it would have been too complicated, but
to add some humor.
The time adjustments and ambiguity with when Gandalf leaves to go do his podcast research session in the library while smoking a joint.
Yeah. Love that.
And to when he comes back is 17 years in the book.
Oh, that's right. It was so long.
But it's so great because it's ambiguous. It time jumps, but it doesn't say 17 years later.
Yeah.
It kind of
I like that.
It. I think it's a great change.
I think it's a great way to do it.
The prologue, Anna read it in Galadriel voice.
Can I just say something about the prologue?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I decided that it would be a great idea. You just something to have in your back pocket, in middle school to memorize the entire thing. So watching the first part of Lord of the Rings with me is kind of a nightmare. My husband was watching it with me. He's like, please don't do that.
Please
don't
stop
talking. I
can't help it. It's natural.
You feel it in the water, smell it in the air. Much as one's changed.
Oh my. Okay.
Okay. So
and it's amazing because it's how do you
You're trying to describe
what's all this
history.
and set up the characters and what's really happening, because sequentially The Hobbit is the first book, and sequentially I don't have my copy down here, but the Silmarillion is you can go so deep, but they give you just enough of the Second Age, the end of the Second Age, to set up the stakes.
But you're still really confused.
But
Because
you're
you're,
still
like,
really confused.
you're always like, but why the rings?
But-
I don't get it.
But why the rings?
Why the rings?
But why the
Yeah.
rings?
It does, when you think about this ring having so much power, you're like, what?
I don't really get
This
it.
is
But that, I mean,
weird.
I love that in that story because there's so much unknowns. You're like dropped in.
You're
this
just
world.
dropped into this.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. And
But a lot of, I feel like a lot of fantasy, I do read a lot of fantasy novels, and they do kind of drop you into the middle of the world, so then you can kind
Yeah,
of
good
understand.
fantasy will leave you a lot of questions, and then they'll write 25 more books. And
you got to set it up, right?
Set
Like
it up.
that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. Sam's more rounded out character we talked about. Moving Boromir's death up in the book timeline. So in the book, the Two Towers starts out with the death of Boromir, and they moved that to this movie. I think that was a great choice.
Great move.
Lurtz, who is the main bad Uruk-hai, he's a brand new character, and he did get a name. It's Lurtz. I think putting like a video game bad guy face to
Beautiful,
the
love
Uruk-hai
it.
is really helpful.
Love to
and
see it.
a great stunt performer, character actor who did Lurtz, and he did the general. I can't remember his name. Forgive me, fans. Like me screaming the name, but it's the general with the really deformed face.
Oh
in
yeah,
Return
where
of
he
the
like
King, and
he
rides the war.
he like step asides from the big catapult thing
with it. Yeah,
yeah, it spits on the stone.
And I was really, when I rewatched it, I was looking at the eyes, and if you look at the
I didn't know
eyes and
that.
the kind of the
The same-
face shape,
same
you can
guy.
see the actor who does it, and it's just amazing. I love
what
the
a
bad guys.
great, like, because you're not like no one knows like who you are, but like you get to be
That's what I'm
like,
saying. It's my dream.
That's the
so
dream. That's a
epic.
dream acting job.
Make it happen to Weta. The Black Riders are different in the movie. They are a little bit more actiony, menacing. In the book, they're a little bit more creepy. They talk to people more. They are closer to
Ghosts.
Yeah. The Dementors are essentially just a ripoff of
yes.
because the Nazgul also have essentially a kiss, just like the Dementors kiss, because
Yeah.
they do it to Mary in Bree. So they're
Oh, that's right.
so they're a little bit different, and obviously that's in the later on.
They do less swordplay in the books.
Yes,
more
more creepiness, and they're
soul-sucking.
and they're also trying to be in disguise, so they're not like openly like running around slashing people.
They're like bloody
Knocking gates
horses.
down.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to be cautious, and
Yeah.
like there's a whole attack in the second book. There's a whole attack in Rohan, a battle in Rohan, where the king's son dies, is all a distraction. Like the invasion of Rohan is all just a distraction to get the riders to be able to cross the river and get into the
I
Shire. So
forgot
there's
about
all
that.
this kind of, because there's a lot more of that gameplay with Sauron. He's trying to not openly cause war, because Sauron's scared
He's not ready.
and he's not ready.
Yeah, because he's
He's
not
not
in
ready,
human
isn't that-
form.
Yeah, and he doesn't have his act together, so he's not ready. So that's a big change.
So good. Unbelievable.
Great change, which won Best Fight in the MTV Movie Awards.
Oh, that's
that
I
year.
remember
Yeah,
that.
and in the books, it's like, and then Gandalf's on top of the tower.
Yeah.
there's no conflict.
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, there's no-
yeah.
yeah.
It's
So really great battle
Yeah,
sequence.
I'm glad
So
they
good.
added that.
Two legends of British acting.
yeah,
That was just for fun. They just,
So
they're-
fun.
you know what?
incredible. They did.
The,
such a
I'm
good
sure
job.
the actors were like, you know what? Can we just?
Well, you can see a
Christopher
little
Lee.
bit of that menace with Christopher Lee, because he wanted to play Gandalf, and he was a huge fan of the books, knew Tolkien.
I didn't know that.
And Ian McKellen was recently on the Colbert Show, and told this story, which he's told before, of like one of the first days on sets. Christopher Lee comes up to him and says, "I read the book every year, and I really pictured myself as Gandalf." And Ian McKellen's like, "Oh my gosh!"
It actually kind of works because you could. I think he
Christopher
uses,
Lee had to be Saruman. It makes
It's
sense. I mean,
perfect.
it's perfect. It had to be. That way.
was he the British intelligence officer?
He was also British intelligence.
Yeah,
officer.
my favorite anecdote from the movies is when someone gets stabbed, and they're like, "Oh, the stunt guy's like,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "No, that's not how a stabbed body falls."
Oh yes.
And you're like, "Ow!" Anyway,
he knows.
He knows because he stabbed someone and seen him fall.
Yes,
Yeah. Yep.
Christopher Lee. What
So
a
good.
legend. What's your best change from the book out of all those, or any ones I missed?
I mean,
Arwen we mentioned.
You might need to do some quick hitters.
yeah, I definitely want to.
Gandalf's speech about Gollum.
Yes,
And the
yes.
Mines of Moria. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Not-
the
doesn't
line
happen.
changes, and
Yeah.
that happens throughout the whole.
Yeah, but that was just
trilogy.
a great way to like put that whole story into one. I think the Council at Rivendell argument, which does not happen in the book, is so perfect because within, how long is that scene? 5 minutes, not even. You understand all the races, all the tensions,
the stakes,
each individual stakes. You understand so much in such a condensed format, and you really feel that emotion. And
Frodo feels it, like he's
and then you get the
overwhelmed.
Frodo, I'll do it, and you're like about
It's
to
so
cry.
dramatic.
I do really like when Gimli tries to, because you're trying to put together like all of this is what the dwarves are. This is who they are
exactly.
in like I don't know
30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you learn everything you need to know when Gimli's
just
like
by Gimli just
pulling out his axe and
just
whipping
wrapped, but like directly hits it with his axe.
He nails it.
Yeah, like
Nails
perfect.
it.
One shot.
And you're just kind of like, again, in Boromir's character, you're like getting all this vibe and understanding the story so quickly. I think it's.
Can we just say one thing about? I'm probably jumping the gun here, but when Strider's voice changes in that.
Oh,
scene.
there's no other master.
There's no other master.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the British accenting kind of fluctuates for all the characters.
I've
And I
never
think it's-
heard like why that happened.
I think sometimes it's when they shot it. I don't
Like
know
audio-
when they
weird
shot it,
audio
or sometimes scenes that we see sequentially in the movie
Yeah,
are
it might
like
have
the
been
first scenes that they shoot.
Yeah.
Actually, Viggo Mortensen's talked about how the scene in Bree was his first day shooting, where you see him and he says, "I kind of regret it. I played it so menacing." But he was supposed to because it adds to the tension. You're like, who is this guy?
I love it.
But I think he was like, I think I was way too intense, but it works.
I actually think
Anyway,
that.
that I
another
just
master.
another master.
Buckleberry Ferry.
Yep.
That is not
It's
that
so-
intense, but
it's
so,
such
so
an
good.
intense scene,
So
the
good.
jump.
I
The
mean,
jump.
Gandalf.
Again, Frodo. Like
Sunday.
Frodo, why is he behind?
Why is he
I don't.
behind?
Why is he
He's
always behind?
Yeah, I
He's
love it.
tripping. He's
I love
falling.
it. But I mean, you don't get that jump. It's
Yeah,
so good.
You got to get
Such
the
a good
jump.
Gandalf and Saruman. I mean, in the movies, they're just like. I think they're better in the movies than the books.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
I
of
think
the acting,
the
and
actors
just
are
like,
so strong.
It's just so. You're like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Like you really get. They're really like dueling. They're dueling on the mountain. They're dueling. Yeah. You're just like.
yeah.
the
They
tension-
definitely make Saruman more of a foil, as we mentioned in this movie. Like,
Yeah, it's much more
because-
kinetic too.
Yeah, in the mountain in Caradhras doing that pass, it's much more ambiguous in the book. It's like almost the mountains rejecting them. There's a lot
Yeah.
more ambiguity of like it's this idea that they're trying this feat and like everybody's against them.
Yeah. But the Rotten
I mean, it's-
I love that.
It's Christopher Lee just going for it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that
so
is
good.
what a gift. What a gift.
The Eye.
The eye.
I think that. I mean,
You like the eye.
it's incredible. I think you immediately are like, bad guy.
It's such a unique
So
choice
evil.
for like to see the
And
eye
it's, like,
and-
always-
in
yeah.
the Palantir. I mean, it's
How did they
there.
make that? Like, it's scary,
It's
I don't know.
terrifying.
but it's also like weird. Like,
it's weird.
really?
Which we'll get
That's
into.
just an eye.
We'll get some weird. There's some weird Peter Jackson stuff embedded
But it
through
was
all
scary.
this.
The Weathertop fight scene.
Yes.
It's
Also, yeah, it's a little bit different in the books, and it's
so good.
so much more
He, like,
intense.
jumps
Yeah.
in.
Also, a great part of the Two Towers video game.
Yeah.
Which covers because they didn't make a Fellowship video game, the Two Tower video game multiplayer Xbox, PlayStation game, GameCube game, and you went through the movie scenes and they would cut from the movie scene into the action.
Right.
And
right.
that Weathertop's one of the first levels that you play.
When Frodo's trying to sneak off and go by himself, and the whole scene with him and Sam in the movie.
Yeah. I was
if you're not crying,
I was. Audrey's like, "Are you crying?" And she walked over and was, I mean, because you have the death of Boromir and then that it's back to back.
Yeah.
You can't get through that without.
yeah.
crying.
Which Death of Boromir is beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful
Yeah.
scene. So like that whole sequence of events is, I mean, it's so much more emotional in the movie than I think the books.
Yeah, and so much more
Which
cinematic.
I think they brought, like, I think Tolkien would have appreciated the way that
Oh, yeah.
Boromir at
Oh,
the end
yeah,
is
yeah.
like his heart is turning towards sea.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all is like just complements the book so well.
It does. It does.
Yes, compliment. That would be a great.
Mhm.
You know, I think a great movie or book to movie adaptation is if they complement each other, so then you can enjoy both.
I agree. I agree because it's always easy to say the book's better, but when you want to read the book, watch the movie, and then
Yeah. Read
the book, watch
read the
yeah.
books, so that and that's why I love this series so much because you can watch these movies as a kid, read the books as a kid, get into them later in life, read the lore, and it all builds and becomes better. I had a moment watching when Frodo's talking to Galadriel, and she says, being a ring bearer is to know loneliness or to be alone.
Yeah.
And she says that because she's a ring bearer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So deep.
I didn't catch that. This was the
That's
first time
so
I
deep.
really caught
Yeah,
that,
I
understanding the
forgot.
full lore. She's a ring bearer. She has one of the rings of power.
I mean, one of the cool things is you get a sense that all the actors like understand the story.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, I don't know. It's a very strong script, but this acting is just.
Ian McKellen told this story in Colbert,
His pocket?
He had
Are you
in his robes. He had a pocket built to have the book, so he could reference the book when he was on set in costume.
That's sweet.
He says you can see it. I looked for it. I didn't see it. I'm sure it's.
I
online.
have heard that.
Yes,
but yeah,
that's
yeah.
great. Do you guys have a best change out of all those, or there's more, Jay, that you still
I'm
have
so
to?
sorry.
No, it's okay. This is what we're here for.
The Buckleberry Fairy is just
It's so good.
the alliteration and just
Buckleberry
Fairy.
Buckleberry
I
Fairy.
think-
And he's like, "We got to go to Buckleberry."
Buckleberry
Yeah, I
But
just
the way
think-
he says it,
Buckleberry.
Yeah,
Fairy.
Buckleberry Fairy.
Yeah, Dominic Moynihan just like it's so great.
I
Yeah.
think
So
there was a
intense.
lot of times in our childhood, or like when we were just, we just say it.
Buckleberry Fairy.
Yeah, I don't know. It really.
All right,
gets-
guys, we got to go to the grocery store.
Buckleberry
Buckleberry Fairy.
Yeah, it is great.
Anything else, Jay? Jay's bringing in the book action. I appreciate it.
I know.
I think sorry, I'm dragging it out, but the book is long, so
Yeah. All right. There's so many good. We don't have to choose one. We all loved them. Okay, we have to move on to best Peter Jackson grimy moment. Peter Jackson, if you didn't know, he was a New Zealand filmmaker, upstart indie filmmaker, and did a lot of like gross horror, body horror, sci-fi movies.
I probably didn't see any of those.
Yeah, they're
No, thank you.
intense, but they were all low budget, like super inventive, and all those skill sets he learned in those movies, he put into Lord of the Rings, obviously, and the movies
Yeah.
after. And if you watch his other movies, King Kong, which came after this,
Yeah,
that was
you-
his next
you-
thing.
that's right.
yeah.
There's some grimy stuff.
Yeah, he's big
and
into the grime.
He loves
He
the
like-
grimy.
Well, all those
he's like-
orcs. Ugh.
He likes things coming out of dirt.
Dirt and grime and just
Being
like,
birthed
fluid.
from the
yes,
earth.
fluid,
Yeah, a lot of
just
fluid,
a
a
lot
lot
of,
of
a lot of
flesh.
wetness.
You know, like when they're like getting the urukai out of the,
Yeah.
like that sound, the mud sound, you can hear it right now.
yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
and that's
And it
number
was a
one on
long.
this.
It was
Is
actually
that
long.
number one?
That the Urukai birthing.
Yeah, we just
seed.
skip to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the winner. But I also have like the Black Rider sniffing with the bugs coming out of the
Yeah,
ground.
that's so
a great
cool.
one. He loves bugs. He amps that up in King Kong. Peter Jackson as himself as a muddy brie man eating a carrot and grunting. Just
Yeah.
all the men in brie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're just all that. Like one of them's got a rat. They're all dirty,
Yeah.
grimy. Bilbo's ring face, which terrified me as a
You
kid.
know what? I just watched that last night before I went to bed. It got me.
It got you.
I was
Wait,
like,
his
oh
ring-
my.
when we did the jump scare when they're in
Oh
Rivendell.
my,
Yeah.
yes, that is.
Yeah,
that was.
it is
I would always
scary.
fast forward that.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like,
Definitely a
and go.
fast
It's
forward.
still scary.
It's so scary.
friend
Still
of the
scary.
show, Justin Felton, we were scared of it. And this you have to laugh to like get
So you
over
just
fear.
watched it?
So we watched it and would pause
What is that?
it
Is that
and try to
spelled-
scare each other.
Exposure therapy.
Yes, yes.
And
Frodo's wraith world eyes when his eyes go white and just like
Yeah.
even
Oh,
his
yeah.
wound
And his breathing.
and there's like he has green on him at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
coming out of
what?
his
It's
mouth.
just like
Yeah.
there's this green goo.
Discharge.
Yeah. The Mordor torture of Gollum. That's pretty.
Oh
That's
yeah.
pretty
that's good.
grimy.
That was definitely
Pretty
CGI
scary.
though.
That
when
was
they-
his
with
hands are
his
CGI.
hands.
Still good.
to match because
It's
they
pretty
want to make sure
Yeah,
it match.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And awful, especially as as a kid, things just like go over your head.
Now I
some
know why
scary
you
stuff.
were at the mall.
Nettie made a good choice. Good
Yes.
job, Nettie.
Yeah.
I don't hold that over you at all. I needed a couple more months stage into
Yeah.
that.
Oh, this is a good one.
Galadriel's ring queen look.
Yes, I get
That
it,
is so good.
so terrifying.
That's a bestie right there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then just the hands, a lot of hand shots of the ring, and then you see a lot of fingernails. You see a lot of dirt
Oh
in the
my
fingernails.
goodness.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood, did he
Had the smallest
They
fingernails.
were
of
so
all
gross.
time.
I think being a mom of 3 boys and then seeing that scene with his nails, I'm like, excuse me, this is too long of a scene to see those.
There's just a lot of hands and nails.
Oh, so gross.
Shout out to Saruman's fingers
Oh,
and fingernails over
that
the
was cool.
Palantir.
I
That is
remember
a great
doing that
one,
as a young person.
Yes.
Like,
Tried
Do
to
you
match
like?
it.
In my mind, the nails grow longer when you're over it,
Yeah.
and then they retract
It
back in.
extends it, yeah.
Yeah, like they're not always
It's like
that long.
Wolverine. Yeah, it's like sink. Here we go. Got to get to the Palantir.
Yeah,
Gotta
except
tap
they
in.
disgustingly grow out and then retract.
Oh,
yeah.
gross. What's your grimiest moment? Is it the birthing, the Uruk-hai
Yeah, I mean,
birthing?
oh,
what's-
there's nothing that tops that.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like-
it's long. Like, it's a
Oh,
long
Yeah,
scene.
Yeah.
and
for
he's
that.
still covered with like birthing fluid.
Yeah, that is definitely a change from the book. We didn't
Oh, yeah,
talk
that is
about
a
it
good best,
because,
dude.
and we won't get into the orc lore and kind of the morality of orcs, and it's something that Tolkien struggled with his entire career. He never really was able to like fully figure out like
where they came
are
from
they
or why
are they sentient, are they good, are they bad? I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of debate, so we won't go into it. You can do your own research. I'm not going to do the work for you. It's a great conversation about morality and evil, corruption. A lot of people think these movies and books are very black and white, good versus evil, but they're not, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to skip the trades because the trades are amazing, but just shout out to Weta, shout out to the miniature work, shout out to just creating the Shire from scratch,
Everything.
the site locations, the costume design, the prop design, the horses, the score.
I think
everything.
behind the scenes, I mean, they had a whole entire DVDs of just the behind the scenes. And I mean, I loved watching that as a young person because I was just like so fascinated with how intricate they did all the costume designs and all the like creating the like trees and just like when you showed like shots of like people working on all of those pieces.
Building the Shire.
You're like, this is a job. Like I was totally
it is.
intrigued.
It's amazing, and they built essentially an industry in New Zealand because of these films.
Yeah, you'd have to.
It's fantastic.
I know we're skipping over this, but I'm going to
Yeah.
do a quick pause. The horse work, the equestrian. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but the chase scene.
The
with
chase sequence is
I
one of my
mean,
favorite, with the cut on the cheek.
Oh, it's
You know,
beautiful.
I mean, I'm sure the internet's got a category of good horse scenes, but that's got to be up there.
One of the
right?
best horse chases, and just visually seeing all the black horses versus the white
Yeah,
horses.
and then they're weaving in between the trees, and then the
incredible
That's my
horse.
favorite.
yeah,
work.
and then like the horse goes on super speed, the white horse.
Yeah, when she's
And, like
talking to him.
he like does a weird stutter
Yeah,
step.
he's like,
He
he does like the Euro step in basketball.
Yeah,
and
I
he,
mean,
gets
it
down.
is-
Yeah, it's
well,
so
there
cool.
it's kind of going back to the grime part. They did a lot of close-ups on the Nazgul like horses, and
Horses,
they
yeah.
were
Oh
like
yeah,
bloody. I mean,
they're
Yeah.
bleeding out of their
Yeah.
but it's so cool.
It's
so
so
cool.
Anyway,
Yeah, and there are obviously a lot of great horse work in the next 2 films
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
But
a lot of horse stuff.
a lot of
I didn't
horse
think
stuff.
about
Okay, this is a fun one. Speaking of Weta Workshop, best prop to have on your mantle. On our mantle, we have a bunch of VHSs right now, but if you could have a prop from this movie specifically, Fellowship of the Ring, on your mantle, what would you have? I'll throw out a couple. One of the Hobbit pipes or any of the pipes, the Lothlorien brooch, Sting, Gimli's axe, Legolas's bow,
all the
Gandalf's
weapons.
Like,
staff,
yeah, everyone.
Gandalf's hat, the Red Book, which is Bilbo's book that he's writing, just having the Red
the
Book.
Hobbit, yeah.
The One Ring, the Mithril shirt, the Horn of Gondor. What there could be? It's endless.
mean-
I got a black horse. Sam's pot.
Ooh,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, his
But-
cast iron.
Yeah,
His
but like
cast iron.
also cook with it.
cook and kill orcs with it.
Yeah.
It's a very,
But no, like it wouldn't be on a mantle. You would,
would
cook,
cook
with
with
it.
you would cook with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And
Yeah.
what
I
prop
mean,
would you have?
I think at different points in my life, I wanted all of those props, you know, like, so that's the thing is like, I love the Sam idea because at this point in my life, I would like something practical.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be broken
yeah.
by small children.
But there was a time like after all the movies came out when you could like buy the brooches and like all the
yeah,
stuff. And
so
I remember
cool.
just being like, oh, I wish I could have the sword for why? But
It
No
really
reason
created
to,
a lot
yeah.
of. This was part of this movement of like prop design and prop creation,
'cause they're
where
so
everything was
good, man.
so detailed
So
and
good.
so beautiful.
it inspired a generation of people watching those behind the scenes and saying, "I want to build my own version of that," and they did.
My own.
What a map!
Oh yeah.
Any of
One
the
of the-
maps,
any of the
that-
scroll
that-
work.
for me, the maps are all. I would just have all of them. I
Yeah.
want
I
all
do.
the maps.
There's something about that like green and brown colors from the Hobbits like clothing.
The clothing,
yeah.
the cloaks,
The
yeah.
fabrics.
The Lothlorien cloaks are great.
Gosh.
Yeah,
It's like, what would you not want?
Yeah.
Probably the birthing orc.
the afterbirth, the Uruk-hai afterbirth.
Maybe just like that scene in a model.
Yeah, I
yeah,
would-
yeah. That's actually what I want.
the miniature of that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I want.
Just
Maybe
like
a fingernail of Saruman. Maybe.
Gross.
I would like the Horn of Gondor, and we'll get into why. Let's move on to best character. Who's your favorite character in this specific movie? Not the whole trilogy, not the whole lore. What's in this film? Who's your favorite, Anna?
I mean, I love Strider. He was very cool.
He's so cool. in this
But
one.
apparently, like 7th grade Anna really thought that Frodo was hot, according to a.
You have sources. You have
I
a
have
source.
sources.
Documentation.
Documentation.
That I saved for much too long. much too long. We've saved some things were saved for much too long.
And for this podcast.
Yes. So yeah, I think Strider was definitely the coolest character.
Oh yeah.
He's a ranger too. Getting the ranger aspect, I think that's the one thing I would love to just have a ranger miniseries. I think that's maybe when we played like make believe in the woods.
You're gonna be a ranger.
Ranger for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, like when he's smoking a pipe in you're like
He's the coolest ever.
You're like,
He's the
does it get
coolest.
cooler than that? Don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, that's
He
peak
puts
cool.
Han Solo to shame.
It's seriously when we think about like intro scenes.
Yeah.
That's got to be up there. That could be a whole
Yeah, the
entire
pipe,
episode.
the
black
glow
hood.
of the pipe illuminates his face. Yeah, and you genuinely don't know, is he a good guy or bad guy?
We don't.
We don't. Yeah, so good.
Best character for me is Boromir. Boromir is a character that I've grown into. I really appreciate Sean Bean's performance. That's why he's up there
not
still
just
shut.
walk into
He has
Mordor.
some of the best lines. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
the memeable
The death
line.
scene.
The death scene. Even when he picks up the ring for the first time in the mountains, and I'm gonna butcher the line, but essentially that like I can't believe so much stress and strife for
Over
something
such a
small
small
thing, and just like all those lines. It's a throwaway line maybe, but if you think about what he's saying is so much of life and all these systems and politics and all the things that we do a lot of times are for seemingly menial things, or like why do we care so much?
Yeah, I mean, you can die. The other thing that I was thinking with Boromir, you think he's like a Judas character,
Yeah.
but like the more that you really look at him and what he's trying to do, like he really wants to do the right thing.
Yes, when he's in Lothlorien with Aragorn, which is one of my newer favorite scenes as an adult, him talking about the White Tower, and he doesn't really understand Aragorn's lineage as much because Aragorn's much older than him.
Yeah,
Because
Which you
he's
don't
Numenorian.
You don't see that in
which they talk about in the extended edition in the Two Towers. They talk about a little bit more that he's 96.
Yeah.
But
Wait, Aragorn is?
yeah.
Oh, that
Because Numenorians live longer.
Oh,
So it's really just fascinating, and there's so much of his spirit of I'm trying to protect my
but
people.
his people, the people of Gondor, and I you also got to give Gondor the credit. They're like, we've been doing all the work.
We've been protecting. Yeah, we literally are neighbors with Mordor. Like they are.
It is
so
a little like
annoying over there.
ridiculous. You're like,
Yeah.
they're right there.
and so he's like, and he doesn't really. No one takes him as serious, I think, as you know.
You'd want to like. It's like he's
Yeah.
like, come on, seriously.
And he
like,
travels all the way to Rivendell. And
Yeah.
then goes almost all
All the way
back.
back,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I think great. You talk about how it's not black and white, and Boromir's perfect.
He's a perfect case.
character
And I love the idea that you can make a mistake and still
be redeemed.
be
yeah.
redeemed by
Doing the right
doing
thing.
the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think some people are like, oh, he's is mad at Frodo and he's in this like ring fever state, and then he immediately
Snaps
out of it. And I think you could criticize that as a little over the top, but to me it shows exactly that idea that when you make a mistake, a lot of times you know exactly what like.
Yeah, right after you
And
know.
sometimes that's why you're angry at yourself, because you knew it was a bad idea or
Yeah.
it was a mistake, or like you didn't want to act
he's
that way.
He's like the most relatable to like just human.
He's the
life.
most human. Yeah, he's like the most
Yeah.
human character. I think there's a lot in the Hobbits that are human, and
They're more childlike in
they
their
are.
naivety.
Yeah, they are.
So
At least
good,
especially in the. Well, I guess in the books too, it's like children are very confident and brave in who they are because they don't
Right.
know
Right.
what the world has to offer for them or what the dangers of the world can be. So I think there's something sweet about the hobbits in
There
that
are.
way. But Boromir's
Yeah.
most
Right.
like human.
I already said mine, but Gandalf and Saruman.
Oh yeah. That is so fun.
Compared to the books, so much better.
So much.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
Ian McKellen in this first one, he as Gandalf the Grey, he's my favorite. And that's one of the reasons why I love this first one is
Because he's
Gandalf
Gandalf
the
the
Grey.
I love
Yeah.
Gandalf
He's
the
so
Grey.
charming.
Yeah, he's so down to earth.
Literally down to earth. Yes. He's the best. All right, best line. We could recite the entire movie.
Okay, yeah, that's not even fair. Like, you can't say this is like when my kids say like, who's your favorite kid? No, that's not even you.
Okay, let's get some.
Let's have maybe some more like out of we have the big lines, like the very like some of the best lines in literature and
I want to
movies
hear
of all
what
time.
you have.
But
what
how
do you have
about
to say?
this, my friends, is a pint.
They come in pints?
They come in pints.
I want one.
Tomatoes, sausages, and nice,
Nice
crispy
crispy
bacon.
We say for you, Mr. Frodo.
Frodo?
Put it out, you fools! Put it out.
It's so good.
In honor of that line, I did have tomatoes with my eggs this morning.
Beautiful.
Still sharp.
Yeah, where he drops and he just leaves it. He
Yeah.
just leaves the sword.
Yeah,
on his
he
lap.
looks at it.
The shards and nice.
That's
Yeah.
Nazgûl.
That's one of our
And he,
favorites.
I like
yeah.
how he holds it. He like tests it
Yeah.
out. Like,
Ugh,
I could
the blade
get
that cut
this.
the
Yeah, and then
ring.
he just kind of rejects it. I love that. It's so good.
Those are some that stand out to me outside of the big ones of like, all we have to do is to decide is what to do with the time that's been given to us, which is one of Tolkien's most famous
Oh, yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a truism of life is like be present in the now. We can complain about the circumstances that have gotten us here, but it's about what we do with the time that's been given to us. What about you guys?
I mean, we gotta have like the humor scenes, like when Pippin is like, "We're having second breakfast,"
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, that is
The apple, that's good.
that is so good.
Another one,
No, we'll
not
see.
the beard.
yeah. Yes.
Gimli does get
Yeah.
a lot of good
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was-
And they only get better.
Yeah.
In the
I
following
he
movies.
is also a like
Comedic relief.
Yeah,
He
comedic
is,
For
relief.
sure.
and it only gets better. I love when they're in Lothlorien. He's like, "I have the ears of a fox," and then like the arrow's right in front of his
Yeah.
face.
I mean, the wizard is never late.
Oh,
Yes,
I mean, that's
yes.
that's
He
great.
arrives
Precisely
precisely
when
when
he
he
needs
needs
to.
to.
The whole death scene with Aragon and
My captain, my king.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
I
captain,
would
my
have
king.
followed you.
Yeah, it's,
I mean,
So
you're
good.
crying again.
yeah,
You're crying again. That happens right before the Frodo. Is that before or after the Frodo and Sam scene?
It's right before.
You're
it.
crying.
You're crying,
You're crying.
and then you're crying some
That's
more.
the part that
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause, like,
get to
Yeah,
in my
Like,
rewatch.
of course. And I'm coming with you. From
Yeah.
Sam, you're like,
I'm coming with him.
I'm
Yeah,
crying.
that got to me immediately. That's so.
So good.
I mean, we already talked about Buckleberry Ferry.
Huckleberry Fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I mean, the Gandalf, you shall not pass. I mean, that's.
Yeah,
I think that just plays into so much of like life.
yeah.
I mean, how many times is that? It just comes out of
you
your mouth.
shall not pass.
You shall not
It's just
pass.
everything. Fly, you fools.
Yeah.
yeah,
Amazing.
fly your fools.
Um,
It's incredible reading the book and watching the movie. I mean, you're talking about like 50% of that movie is straight quoting the book.
It
which
is.
is like
That's pretty good.
pretty incredible.
Yep.
I have no idea if that's actually true.
No, it's
but
yeah. I mean,
it's
that's
pretty-
why Philippa Boyens, as that
I don't
team
know how
who
they
wrote
did
it,
that.
they did such a good job
I mean-
of using the lines of Tolkien when they were needed, and then not maybe mimicking, but like essentially adapting lines to make it feel like Tolkien. It's one of the issues that I've had with the Rings of Power adaptation is it feels like a really bad cover of a song where this feels super.
Yeah.
I did that.
This is
I
like,
did.
this is like a
This
cover.
is like an acoustic version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of your favorite song by the artist. It's super
this is
close to
Stevie
it.
Ray Vaughan covering.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's the best of the best.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it works.
In its own right, it's a piece of art.
I feel like there's so many more quotes that I'm gonna like think about later.
Yes, I mean it's endless. It's one of the most quotable movies of all time, especially this first one. I mean, a lot of the Bilbo stuff I really appreciated rewatching. Ian Holm is definitely changing a little bit of the book character, but he adds some sinister type of, and it's only Ian Holm could do that as an actor. Yeah, most famously, he's in the original Alien, and he does a great job of adding this fear to the audience, and he's unsettling, but he also can be like
happy.
He's Bilbo.
Yeah, I mean,
like
he's
they're smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when
What's also the birthday scene where he's like,
We'll
Rubs, tubs.
yes,
Oh,
yeah. We'll get to that quote
I love
later.
that.
That was brought up by one of our listeners.
Oh, perfect.
Let's get into
Thanks.
best scene because these lines are included in the best scenes. I asked folks and listeners on Instagram their favorite scene from this film specifically. Abby Simpkins said, breakfast. What about second breakfast?
Yes.
yeah, that's so good.
11 C's, lunch, afternoon tea, dinner,
Which is-
supper.
I
Don't
would like
think
to
he knows
say
about
not in the
second
book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not in the
that-
book. But it's mentioned when they talk about that.
But, like, good.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
glad.
use. Again,
Yeah.
that's a good example of
Yeah.
you're using the lore and then adding it in a humorous context in a great
Yeah,
delivery.
that was much needed, I think.
Alex says the Balrog scene, which we meant,
So
the Bridge of
good.
Khazad-dûm. Just Moria in general. It's just
Incredible.
so intense.
It's so like epically large.
Yes. And it's so cool to imagine when you're like they're climbing up the stairs and then they see the pillars and it's like, okay, there's all the characters are in awe. Obviously Gimli's in awe because he's never been there. He's heard about it his whole life.
Well, and that brings in that history that
Yeah, you feel how old stuff is.
Yes.
it's the depth of the story that Tolkien created because he created so much depth in this story because was a brilliant writer.
Speaking of Moria, at seeing that movie said the fall of Gandalf in the moment after, like the right after, kind of the slow motion, incredible music, all the feels.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the score.
screams.
I mean,
The score is it's the best.
It's the best. It
Yes,
it brings you to tears. I was listening to it on the way here.
Yeah,
and
or it just brings you to like peace.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you
Man, how do we not? We haven't even talked about. Anyway,
again, this could be a 3-hour podcast.
I do have a thing about the score. Is I remember I was in band in 7th grade, and I did not like playing any of the music that they provided. So with my
It's
own
a theme here.
Yes, I know. With my own ear, I would play out the Shire music.
Yes, on
my
your
flute.
on your flute as a
Flute.
flautist. But it's still prevalent today. I think there was a big social media clip, the Indiana Hoosiers who won the most recent college football championship. Like the band played, I think they played the Uruk-hai theme.
I mean, it's so
like
good.
They play it like on the third down for defense. Like it's
Yeah.
like it's a core part of our cinematic experience just as much as Star Wars, Indiana Jones. I think Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
is
that
right up
like.
there.
doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
that everyone knows.
Everyone
immediately.
knows immediately. Eliza, our kid sister, she got in here. Her favorite scene is that initial scene when the Shire disturber of the peace, and Gandalf goes, "Oh, really?"
oh yeah. Oh,
and sets off the fireworks. Just like when going into the Shire, I think that's
That's
for
a
me.
good
It's
scene.
such a comforting scene
Yeah.
to watch,
So
and
good.
because they built the freaking Shire, like they built it, so it's like you are truly
It's
in
still
a
the
different
dream
world.
to go there,
and it's still
see
there.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can go there and visit. It's a tourist attraction, but it's so calm. I mean, when you're opening up a movie and it says the script says Fellowship of the Ring and Frodo's leaning against a tree,
You're
just
like, I wanna
chilling
be
out.
there.
I want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Yeah.
But it's all about there and back again. It's all about leaving the Shire, and we really
Really good. There and back. Oh, so good. Get out of here.
come
Really right in.
on. Angela says, as Anna already mentioned, when Arwen rescues Frodo from the Nazgul and invokes a magical flood to drown them in the
She
River
was
Bruin.
so cool.
Yes,
Like-
yes.
So cool. Well, she gets that cut.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
but
cut.
no, when she is before they get to that forest scene, she's flying along some like beautiful meadow of like
Oh, yeah.
like
It's
and the
gorgeous.
music is just
It's
you're just
so
like
cool.
she's so cool.
She's so cool. Yes, Angela, good call, and points for the River Bruin as well. So love the Tolkien nerds out there.
Yeah.
dropping
Yeah.
the right terms. Cousin John said Bilbo's party specifically. I don't know half of you as well as I should, and I like less than half as you as well as you deserve.
I like.
And they all are like
Yeah, which is accurate to the book. They all don't get it.
They don't get it,
Which like
tells you everything about Bilbo.
Bilbo that you need to know.
Because Bilbo's kind of a weirdo. Like that's the opening of the book. They're at the Green Dragon, which at E Turn Stylish said the Green Dragon, which they don't. She's referencing the extended version where they do have more scenes at the Green Dragon.
Yeah.
oh, that's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut.
It's a true fan.
That's a true fan. Friend of the show, Andy Warson, says the Council of Elrond specifically. One does not simply walk into Mordor. The legendary meme. Yes.
Yeah.
The legendary meme.
I mean, what an incredible scene.
Yes. And again, Sean Bean gets to deliver a lot of
Bean.
great lines.
And he's fully behind.
Another one of my favorite that I noticed on the rewatch was when the Balrog comes, he like whispers into Gandalf's ear, "What is this new devilry?"
No, yeah.
He's bringing heaters.
That's a good one.
They brought Sean Bean in to like throw fastballs.
Yeah, you're like, can you? Here's like 5 one-liners. I need you to just.
You're just
really-
in this one movie.
For
You're
these-
not in all 3 of them, but you're in the first one. So just like we're gonna just give you good lines.
It was-
And he gives him
yeah.
one time. Yeah.
It was sad that he wasn't in. I remember as kids, we were like, we wish Sean Bean was
Yeah.
in the next one.
He's such a good actor.
Another, not this. This isn't a Boromir podcast, but it is a little bit of like reclaiming Boromir. When they get to Moria and they find Balin's tomb, obviously Gimli is distraught and he leans his head against the tomb. Boromir puts his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, he's changing.
I know, because like he understands it's like his people. And then when they leave the mines and like and Gimli's like distraught and on the ground, like in just so emotional because one, Gandalf obviously just fell.
Yeah.
And just the destruction of this sacred place of his people. And Boromir's right there comforting him. And then give them a moment for pity's sake.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was because his arc has to be so quick.
It does.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
it does.
he starts off as like, I don't know, and then you like are endeared to him because he's
It is.
'cause he's human.
And he is human. Like
Thank you, Boromir, for
so
being human.
People just don't, when you rewatch it as many times as I have, you notice
You
these
pick
things
up
and
the
you're like,
nuances
oh,
of-
there's like
yeah.
there's depth there in every line that Sean Bean delivers.
I mean, you could watch that movie with each character as the main character.
yes. So if you haven't, watch Boromir as the main character as his perspective. Alex again says, also not necessarily a scene, but Gandalf going through the whole progression of, wait a minute, there's only one person who ever called a ring precious, to I think this might be really bad, to researching and being on like, oh my gosh, this is real, worst case scenario, coming back and telling Frodo, like, dude, are we like completely screwed? And what about it's about to happen is really gonna suck. Ha ha ha. Which to me, that is the 48 minutes between Bilbo leaving the Bag End to Frodo getting to Rivendell is like my favorite 48 minutes in movies. Any other favorite scenes that stand out to you guys? I know we've talked about most of the movie, but
Yeah, it's like have we talked about
let's
every
start
scene?
with the first scene. And let's move on to the second scene. I think one of the things that I enjoy rewatching it, not to go too deep in the lore, the fight between the Balrog and Gandalf it never gets old.
No.
And just the build up to it and
Yeah.
in the fear of our heroes. I love even the little touch of Aragorn trying to go and fight, and he goes, "Do as I say," and he pushes him away. Swords are like not. We don't need swords anymore. I mean,
well,
I
it shows
just love
that like he is a wizard, and like you don't really. I mean, I guess you see that with Saruman, like their fight,
But not
you,
a lot of
you
magic.
you don't see a lot of
Yeah.
magic, and that just shows his
Like power.
Yes, and the best part about this is when you get into the lore, Gandalf and the Balrog are the same type of beings.
Being, yeah.
So it's like
His brother.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like that's why he goes down. He's like,
I have to
It's
do-
not about really because I think when I watched the movie as a kid, I was like, why did he go down there? And you see in the Two Towers, spoiler alert, he doesn't die. They like fight. It's like, why did he do that? Like
He
he
just
just go
ran.
like.
Yeah.
It's less about like protecting the Fellowship, and it's more like these are ancient beings.
He's finishing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
This goes way back.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
this is servants of Morgoth. Like this is
True
dispersonal.
evil.
And it's
Yeah.
it's a lot of it is actually Gandalf confronting his fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's about him as a being. Like there's really good lore. Like Gandalf didn't want to come. His previous being didn't want to come to Middle Earth. Like he was more afraid.
Is this what the I haven't watched all.
Silmarillion.
I haven't
Oh.
watched all the newer stuff that's come out.
No.
Do they touch in on?
Yeah.
I
There's,
haven't watched it.
I think
yet.
that just all this stuff just reminds you of like this is one person that came up with all this,
I know.
and not like recently, like a
Yes,
long time
it's
ago.
the original. And if you watch, I mean, it's all a lot of it is connected back to these works, and it is amazing that it took this long from when the books were written to make a live action adaptation.
Well,
you think about Hollywood
you have to have the money and the technology
and the
to,
vision,
like, yeah.
and the vision.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think the vision to make.
Would you
this
say
come
the
to life.
courage?
I would say the courage.
Would it be Hobbit like courage?
It would be Hobbit like courage.
to make
Yeah.
this
to make
movie.
this movie.
And Peter Jackson kind of looked.
He
like
looked like a hobbit.
Exactly.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely in the filming of these movies.
One last scene. When he gets to Rivendell and like wakes up, you're kind of like the weird emotional roller coasters. You're like, the movie's done.
We did it.
Yeah.
Movie over. Like,
And then
Sam's
you're like,
let's get back.
And then you get right back in. And I think for me, it's like 2 movies in one.
It
because
is.
You get,
It is.
I mean, it's just
Well, especially if you watched it for the first time and
Yeah,
you hadn't
oh,
really
yeah.
read the books, you were like, "Oh, I guess it's
Oh, we're
done."
done.
And it had been like
Yeah, it's a bit hour
it'd been
48.
like an hour.
I mean, you could have ended the movie there.
yeah, you're like, we must be close.
we must
and,
be close.
and the way they shot that, I mean, it's a little cheesy. I would say that would be the only part I can't.
The
Oh,
Elrond
like
face?
him dying.
Elrond face.
Yes, the
Elrond
like,
face.
Gungungungungungungungungun.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing. That's probably could have been. That's a Jackson thing.
Yeah,
there that
and
is
like
that
when
aged well.
when he sees all the, like Merry and Pippin and Sam.
Oh, the
and
back slapping? You don't like that?
just
I
like
kind of like that.
Slow
I don't
motion
know.
back slap.
slow motion.
Did you notice that Mary's eating?
He's
an
eating
apple?
an
Yeah, he's
apple.
always eating-
Love it.
eating an
Love
apple.
that.
I do love a good like the character trait like throughout like
Yeah.
always eating or
Yeah,
always
yeah, I
doing
love it eating.
Mary's
Um,
always eating an apple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was
Fantastic.
I would have to say that was like very I think it pinpointed a certain era of
Yes,
movie.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that this is pretty timeless movie, but that there's
You're like,
that's
"Oh,
one of
that's
the
a
things
little-
Couple tidbits.
that's like, oh yeah, 2001. Even just like the darkness in Moria, like that kind of like the color of that.
Yeah, that vibe.
is there was a lot of movies that just took that right afterwards. Like even like I'm thinking like the Underworld movies. Like a lot of movies try to copy Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
what they did. Even Harry Potter extent, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
interplay. between
Oh,
those
for
movies.
sure.
And the books, but it's funny because the books, there was, I mean, we won't get into the Harry Potter versus Lord of the Rings. That's a different podcast.
Well, but
We
let's
don't
just
need to
step,
verse
let's step
anything. It's so
I,
fun.
I don't like the hate. Are you
Yes.
blaming someone from borrowing from?
No,
the
I
best?
just think that there is a conversation that's happening between these, and to bring it back to like you weren't allowed to read Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah,
is like
yeah,
it is a
yeah.
modernization. And
I
an
think it's all
extension
good though.
of-
It's all good.
It is
baby.
all good.
And
So
you know
it's
what?
all- I
There's-
want more.
There's room for more.
There
And
is.
That's right. That's
enough.
right.
There's enough space. We all
Yeah.
love.
I'll read them all.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yes,
More.
you guys are, and you guys
Yeah.
are active. You guys like, I think that's what's cool. You guys both love fantasy. And
Yeah.
have, like
I-
gone beyond.
I actually think Jay was the one that started our enjoyment of fantasy because
Really appreciate it.
I did read the first Harry Potter book before Lord of the Rings had come out. 'Cause I was in 4th grade.
Yes.
I was like turning 11, like when.
Yeah.
You were Harry
So-
Potter's age.
So I
Synced up.
read that first book, and it was the first time I had read a book that I was like, I think I love reading. I think I love books and love this whole thing. And so that was, and then you read these books, and it was
Uh-huh.
like the beginning of our like excitement for fantasy now. And now Jay and I continue to be like, hey, read this series. Or we differ,
Yeah.
but
I'm a little on the darker side.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
But
you're
it's
more,
really cool that it's continued to happen.
Yeah.
And it's continued to flourish.
Yeah,
and
you're
you guys
more
can
on
connect.
that Harry Potter vein, and I'm still on the Lord of the Rings vein.
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
there's
I kind of
two party.
yeah, and I
Divided.
tend to read more of the trendy, like, or I have read more of the trendy fantasy novels, and then Jay's like,
Yeah, I'm
read
like-
this one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Are you on the 14th book?
Are you
of
in the
Dune?
fourth? Yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
like,
Jay, this is kind of dark.
You
I-
gotta.
Can you just tell me the rest of the
You gotta
day?
drive through
I
five.
can't, I can't do.
You gotta
this-
drive through the middle Dune books to get to the
No.
final one because it's worth it at the end.
and you're like, Jay, the
If
main
you
character
really pays
died
it
in the
off,
first
really
5
pays it
minutes.
off.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn. Jay wants the slower the burn, the better.
Yeah.
Or the more like tragic. Like I started reading a book, and Jay,
What book?
The Red Rising,
Ugh.
and within the first 10 minutes of I was listening to the audiobook, I was
It
like, I
is.
think Jay would like this book. And sure enough, immediately loved it. Yeah, I love it. I'm like, Jay, the main character, like there's like death immediately, like tragedy. And,
Yeah, the text. Has anyone read Red Rising? I'm like, I'm on book 5.
I'm book 12.
like, okay.
There's a spin-off. You got to read the spin-off.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the original.
But I mean, to come back to this, I think it's Tolkien's fault because like
It is his
the
fault.
death
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
and everyone, I mean, this and Dune are the gold standards
Yes.
for fantasy,
Sci-fi and
Yeah.
fantasy.
and they started off. I mean, no one's getting up to the linguistic skill of no one even tries.
No one has the time.
There's like weird tricks fantasy writers do to avoid all that.
Yes.
So it's like, it's not my fault.
It's
true. It's not my fault. That's another movie.
That's another movie. All right, let's move on to ratings and meanings. It's a 5-star movie. We're not going to talk about that. More importantly, what does this movie mean to you? This can be anything, but just what does it mean to you?
We already got into
this
it.
is the question that I didn't prepare for a lot of this but this is what I thought about a lot. I did think that the movies really did change it was a part of my life, part of that growing up of just stories and adventure and just being able to think outside of just
bigger.
Your current I go to school every day and blah, blah. It was this is a dream. It's a dream. It's fun.
Yep.
You could experience it together, talk about it together. There was languages and cool accents and awesome archery and I don't know. Just there was just it was fun. It was
horses.
It was a time to play. You could play with Lord of the Rings because it was epic and scary and it had all the things.
Yeah, serious.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a cartoon.
No. It tapped into all of those things.
Right.
Seriousness, but fun, but how did they do that? It was, and we didn't have the internet to find all this stuff out. So I think we were young at a time when right before the internet exploded, so we could wonder. You just wonder
and live in it and marinate in it.
Yeah,
it would
and
be
this.
You're not asking ChatGPT.
Well,
was
and
the
you're not
history of the
distracted.
elves?
You have the DVD. It was a big deal to have the DVD.
Yeah.
And you watched it every day because you had the DVD.
and
this
we
was
didn't
it.
have anything else.
Yeah, this
that
is
was
it.
That
You're
was
soaking in the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
marinating in it.
Just marinating in it.
over and over again.
Yeah, marinated just like an urukai being birthed. You were
Out of all the things.
Jay. The segue to you. What does this movie mean to you?
Urukai birth. Over to you. Over to you. I mean, I think we've touched on it. I mean, reading it at such a young age. I mean, I think to your point, Anna, when you're getting made fun of in elementary school and you had a bad day and you crack open, Lord of the Rings or, Harry Potter, you get to experience escape. And when you're a child, you just have such a dynamic imagination that you really just get to be fully immersed. Whereas an adult, I've lost access to that, which is
we all have.
It's like a Chronicles of Narnia callback.
Yeah.
So I think for me, just understanding that is I don't want to say coping mechanism, but a way to escape, experience new things.
But it wasn't. I don't think it's a coping mechanism. It was
maybe that's a negative.
The essence of childhood removed from technology. Really.
Yeah.
This was a book. I mean, I guess technology. It was we were watching a screen, but we lived in Traverse City. We lived near. In a woods and near a stream. And do you remember? You remember going out into that woods?
I mean, we were playing, especially Amon Hen, the final scene, the final battle. It was our woods in our backyard. I mean, that's why I do love this film because it's set in the north of Middle Earth. A lot of the landscape is what we grew up around.
Yeah.
So we didn't grow up in mountains, but
moss covered stuff,
woods,
swamps,
moss. It's just it felt like I could just step outside and I could be Aragorn fighting Urukai.
Yeah. I think to that point too, you don't know what you're learning through these stories, and so much of our culture, how we understand the world is experienced through storytelling.
Right.
So I'm raising two boys and I'm trying to think about, how do you teach these lessons to these kids? I need to sit them down and tell them the rules and then they'll understand it. It's no, just give them these books. You want to be in the story. You want to be Frodo in the story. And I think another.
But did you want to be Frodo?
No, Strider. Come on.
Come on.
I mean, it's so weird how fictional characters can have such a big impact on your life. And I as stupid
it's not
as it
strange,
sounds,
not on this podcast.
You think about for me, you're Indiana Jones, Strider, all these archetypes of what it means to be, the hero. I'm my life has been definitely dictated by those characters, which just sounds so weird.
Not here. It's a safe space on
But
those important things.
I mean, that's what I love all this because it teaches you so much about being who you are.
Well, friends, thank you so much for going on this epic quest. I've already shared what this movie means to me. You can listen to my Tolkien episode, but this movie is really about family friendship, going through life, going through adventures, going through challenges, overcoming them together. And the bonds of friendship and family is the most important thing for us to get through our own journeys together. Shout out to friend of the show, Logan. If you're listening, Logan, love you, man. This episode's dedicated to you. Thank you both for being here. I really appreciate you guys being here and
thank you so
inspiring
much.
us.
We feel very honored to be doing this. It's so sweet to be able to share, like, relive some memories together.
Beautiful.
And to get some stories straight.
Yes, we got some fact checks. Usually we're not really fact checking here, but we did today.
It was a family fact check.
Fact check.
Yeah.
That could be a whole new podcast.
No one wants to listen to that.
No one wants to listen to that one. Well, thanks. Maybe we'll come back for the appendices rewatch, and we can watch all the behind the scenes.
I have to just be able to have time to watch all of these movies, and that's a little bit difficult to do with this stuff.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for listening. Until next time, we'll talk to you on Least Important Things.